He's calling us to do things, right? He has a plan and purpose for our lives. He's given us special gifts and talents, and the only way we're going to discover those things is if we're willing to be stretched. We're willing to maybe do something that we've never done before. Um, so here it is. It says, God will call you to do what you cannot do, but don't you love the but? Will provide everything you need to do it. So here's some examples. It says Noah didn't have the power to get all those animals into the ark, but the Lord provided what was necessary for it to happen. Joseph didn't have the ability to preserve his life and put himself in a position of power in Egypt, but the Lord made it happen. Moses didn't have what it takes to free the Israelites from their slavery in Egypt, but the Lord empowered him to lead them to the promised land. The Israelites didn't have the power, didn't have the means to get across the Red Sea, but the Lord parted the waters for them. Are you seeing a pattern here? It's all about God providing. It says the pilgrims in the wilderness had no means of feeding and sustaining themselves, but the Lord provided everything they needed. The children of Israel had no means of defeating the walled city of Jericho, but the Lord gave them victory. David had no personal power to overcome Goliath, but the Lord gave him courage and strength in the valley of Elah. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had no ability to keep themselves from burning up in that fiery furnace, but the Lord preserved their lives. The disciples had no means of feeding the hungry crowd that had gathered to hear Jesus, but he fed them well from a little boy's lunch. Paul had no ability to preserve himself and those who were with him from shipwreck, but the Lord exercised his power so that none were lost. And the apostles had no ability to take the gospel of Jesus Christ to the known world, but the Lord gifted them and provided for them so they could do so. How is all this possible, right? It says, you and I have no natural abilities to rise and do what God calls us to do. But, and listen to this word, refuses. He refuses to leave us to our own resources. He refuses. He knows we need help. He created us. He knows how we're wired. It says, He is not so unwise, unkind, or unfaithful as to ever call us to task without enabling us to do it. It says, I'm not able to love my wife the way Jesus loves the church, but I'm not left by God to my own character and strength. I'm not able to keep my heart pure, so God fills me with his empowering spirit. You see what 2 Peter 1:3 says is really true. We have been given everything we need